Hello, everyone. Sandra Bargman here, proud blue waver. Woohoo! Oh, yes. Proud, angry, rebellious, ready. And we are live in the hive today with none other than cabaret producer, publicist, performer extraordinaire, Mr. Stephen Hanks. Hello,
Woohoo!
my friend.
Hi, how are you? Great to see you as always.
It's great to see you. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my.
Nothing
So,
makes me feel better than a conversation with Sandra Bargman when I'm depressed,
oh my friend,
which is constantly.
these days ain't that the Oh, I swear, come on, everyone knows it. Ain't that the fucking truth? I was about to bite my own tongue. Who, me?
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Who was I in that
This is
moment?
cable?
I know.
Uh,
Oh,
we're
and
already
Lord,
out of control. All
I
right.
know. Well, and because, and we know why, but we'll get into that in
Okay.
3 seconds. But I just, at the top of this, the reason we are here today, folks, is because we are plugging the next round of Blue Wave shows, or rather, Project 2026, the Blue Tsunami.
Unfortunately, it's backwards on the screen.
Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah.
Um, I can't believe that we've circled around yet again. And folks who are watching may recall the interview that we did, Stephen and I did to promote in 2024. And I watched that this morning to in preparation for this interview. And I'll tell you, Stephen, it was remarkable how perky you and I were and excited and so looking forward to it. And there was still this element of, we can do this, we can do this. And with what just came down with the Voting Rights Act, the tone for this interview is, I'd love to keep it perky, but it's not. It's not. It's anger filled and fear filled. And, I don't want to focus on the fear, but I do want to focus on focusing this anger into action. And that we are doing these shows again, Project 2026, the Blue Tsunami series produced by Stephen Hanks, speaks volumes about what we need, the intention of taking action.
It's really interesting the way you just framed that
Mm.
because one of the challenges that I already feel like I'm facing hosting this first show and most likely all four of them through the year is how to navigate or walk the line between celebrating the creativity of the performers and their political passion and trying to be for an audience that is looking for some cathartic release, supplying that yet having the appropriate anger
Right.
and that you just mentioned, and also what we're dealing with, how we're going to deal with what we're up to, what we're facing right now, which is worse than it's been in the 8 years since Trump first got elected.
Yeah.
So we can start with that, and let me, you can take it from
Yeah,
there.
we can navigate that. Well, I think just through our storytelling, of course, I will admit it is a constant, it is truly an edge of every day to balance the anger with how do I focus that and take action? How do I, and as you say, deliver a show that inspires and not share, not get in the weeds of being angry with the people that, I mean, obviously the people that are still supporting him, but in addition, the people that somehow have not woken up to the precipice on which we are finding ourselves
The
today.
urgency of now.
The meeting
The
the urgency
urgency.
of the moment. It's like, people, where are you?
There's been an incredible absence of outrage or at least
Extraordinary.
too minimal an amount of outrage during this whole period that we're living through. It's almost as if people on our side of the aisle, and I hate to start using the terms left and progressive and liberal and blah, um, it's all labels. I mean, it all comes down to we all should be patriots and we all
Yeah, it's not
should
left and
be
right, it's top and bottom.
exactly. But it's hard for me to believe, and part of the problem we're facing in trying to express this outrage is, and I hate to say this because I've been in the media my whole career, the media has really to a large extent failed us. And they still are. I mean, there are pockets that are doing good work, but it's usually not in the mainstream media
No,
where
it's not
the
the legacy
majority of the
media
people
anymore.
watch.
Yeah,
It's like having a subscription to the Atlantic. How many
right.
people do that? I mean, so anyway.
No, and all the Substacks that we subscribe to,
Right.
and all the individual and freelancing journalists. It's, I mean, you have to. Anyway, that's a great seg for me to read your bio for our glorious listeners,
Which you can ad lib from, by the way, anytime.
which I probably will. After more than 35, after a more, hello, than
More.
35-year career. No, focus here. As a magazine publisher, editorial director, and writer, running magazines with subjects as diverse as sports, health, and nutrition, and publications for children, Stephen Hanks entered the world of New York cabaret 15 years ago as a reviewer for Cabaret Scenes magazine, then lead cabaret editor and reviewer for BroadwayWorld.com before becoming a show producer, publicist, and even sometimes a performer. Yes, I've seen you sing.
Thank you.
During his time in cabaret, Stephen has produced and hosted more than 35 variety shows. Unbelievable. But Stephen has also been intensely engaged in politics since childhood. A political science major in college, he worked in the presidential campaigns for Jimmy Carter in 1976 and Bill Clinton in
I
1992.
just I just dated myself that right there.
It's all good, honey. All good. It's great to be an elder in today's insane times. Back when we can
Especially when you don't
remember.
feel like one.
Well, there you go.
There you
There
go.
you
Yeah.
go. Beginning in 2018, he combined his passion for progressive politics and cabaret to create a series of blue wave variety shows as fundraisers for Democratic candidates and voting rights organizations.
And you were
All at the
there.
leg,
And you were there.
and I was there.
There.
Well, and we're going to get into that story. We'll tell it again.
Yep.
It's legendary. All at the legendary venue Don't Tell Mama. Since launching with 5 shows in 2018, Stephen produced 6 more Blue Wave fundraising events between 2019 and 2024. Beginning next Thursday evening, May 7th at 7 p.m. at Don't Tell Mama, Stephen will produce and host the first of 4 fundraising shows called Project 2026 Blue Tsunami, featuring a dozen fabulous cabaret performers singing in support of truth, justice, democracy, and vital social issues of our time.
Sounds like the beginning of the Superman TV series, right?
Oh my, I
Truth, justice, and the American way.
right. Like that we took for granted
That's right.
in all of those campaigns you worked in, that we took for granted back in the day when you could actually reach across the aisle. What's
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
There
Okay.
was
All
something.
right.
There was something called compromise.
Yeah.
Where did that
Oh,
go?
that's it. What was that word again? Oh my God. Okay, so let's dive into the history of the Blue Wave shows and how they were spurred and start us off.
Okay, so obviously, I was incredibly depressed, distressed, disillusioned with the election of Donald Trump in 2016. Very depressed all through 2017 during the first year, and I had already seen then, and I'm not saying that I'm a soothsayer or
But you're
I had
somewhat intuitive about all of this.
right, yeah, of course. Like I was writing about the problem with white supremacy even before Trump was elected.
Yeah.
But one of the things that terrified me and is even more terrifying me after what happened the other day, and we'll get into that, is the attack on voting rights, which I saw coming, which has been my number one issue. And as I've said in many of the shows, the reasons why it's my number one issue among the myriad of things that we have to care about is that everything stems from that.
Yeah.
Especially the democracy. If we lose the voting rights, which the right is trying to attack on a regular basis,
Not
everything
trying,
that
is
everything
attacking
yeah, everything we care about is down the toilet.
every
So
issue.
so my goal at that point during 2017 was to try to do something within the voting rights organization sphere. And the problem with that was there wasn't anything readily available, especially in New York, to latch on to other than donating money. I mean, I wanted to be a little bit more active than that. So, all through that year, I was kind of racking my brain about like, what can I do? I have to do something about this. And this is where you come into the story. So, as you well remember, and we love telling this tale, um, we were at a cabaret show. My friend Jeff McCauley was doing a cabaret show, who I was his publicist at the time, and it was at the end of December of 2017. And after the show, we were having like our third and fourth drinks at the bar Pangea in East Village, and I was just
And weeping into them, weeping
weeping
into our
into them,
cocktails.
and I was like, Sandra, what am I gonna do? Yeah, and then I don't know where the epiphany came from, especially after that much alcohol.
Or
But I suddenly,
or because of it.
or because of
Set
it,
you
I
free.
suddenly, it like occurred to me, oh, I'm in cabaret and I know all these performers and I know how to produce shows, and I turned to you and said, cabaret series raising money for Democrats, and we do it, during the year of 2018. And
Yeah.
that's how and you were like, yay,
And
and
you're
that's
right.
how,
We just hashed it out. What about this? Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. It was
yeah.
just
And we did 5 shows in 2018,
that. Yeah.
the year that the Democrats flipped 40 seats in the House.
Hmm.
And then we did a couple of victory shows. If you remember that
Totally.
January, we were all happy and celebrating, and we did victory shows. And then, and then in 2022 and 2024, when I came back to New York from Sedona, where I had moved during the pandemic,
Mm.
um, I produced additional shows. And by the way, you brought up the 2024 show before. One of the things, this is for the people that can't make the show on May 7th. One of the things that I'm going to tell the audience is actually apologize. Because as you remember, I got up and told the audience in my introduction that because I was a political science major in college, I was an expert at this subject. And I guaranteed that Kamala Harris would be the next president of the United States. So I obviously missed that call
Well, please.
and have to apologize for that. It's going to be, a little humor to break up the levity at the beginning
Yes,
of the show.
indeed. Well, and Lord knows, even something as bleak as that becomes the irony becomes we have to find the humor wherever we can.
And frankly, and I think you'll agree with me, I can't believe we actually have to keep doing these shows. I
Well,
do,
I
you know,
can't
I
believe first, I mean, but that's been the last 10 years, Stephen. I can't believe he was initially voted in.
right.
I can't believe that he was not that he got away with an insurrection. I can't, the bar just keeps going lower. I can't believe, and I personally don't believe he won this time around. And that you can call me a conspiracy theorist. I do believe that Starlink and Elon Musk had his little hands in a lot of things. But
Given
that's
how,
a different conversation,
yeah,
but
right.
that's a sidebar that I feel that I'll take responsibility for. Doesn't really matter. Can't believe he's back again. And I can't believe in this day that there are so many people I know, people in my family that still support him, don't realize, still have not woken up.
Well, I mean, a lot of people and a lot of analysts have talked about this. You know, the question that has persisted from the beginning of his first administration that people on our side of the aisle constantly bring up is the question why.
Mhm.
Why do they keep
Right.
supporting him? Why do the Republicans in Congress keep supporting him? And what I've said from the beginning is that it's not that complicated
No.
to figure out when you realize what their agenda has been and what
Has
it
been.
is, going all the way up to this past week when the Supreme Court basically killed the Voting Rights
Voting
Act.
Rights Act.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's been the agenda, and I know people are going to say, "Well, he's just a progressive extremist." The agenda that the right and the Republican Party has had for decades has
Yeah.
been white supremacy, Christian
Christian
nationalism,
nationalism,
and supported by these right wing oligarchs who are now
oligarchy.
basically. So it's that it's that I was watching MSNBC yesterday, and they were talking about because of this Jim Comey indictment, how in order for the country to operate, you need the three legs of the stool to be intact, which is the president, the executive, judicial, and legislative branch,
Yeah.
and two of them are now in tatters. The other three-legged stool is the one on the right, which is what we just talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's driving the entire agenda, and it's why they
Completely.
are shamelessly and ruthlessly trying to end this democracy as we know it.
Yeah, and I talked about in my performance in the 2024 show about the understanding of the psychological makeup of the person who embraces fascism and authoritarianism and is inclined to be a conservative. I think that's really where, to your point of it's always been their agenda. I have spent so much of my thoughts and time trying to come to terms with why people would want to vote against their own rights that would be so threatened by. And I now understand why it doesn't really matter as long as I can keep my white supremacy in place. And it doesn't matter if I pretend that I want lower gas prices and better, but now that doesn't seem to matter. Now that
You know,
we're at
one
war,
one
it's like they just can't get and they don't want to. And I've had to come to terms with that. But I listen, we could go on and on about this. We're promoting our show, so
that's
I want
right.
to keep moving. So so let's see. Why, obviously, we know why we're doing this one, but I want to talk about, in the larger picture, the joy that we as performers in these shows,
Mm.
to our earlier point in this conversation, the opportunity to combine our activism with our artistic expression, and how good for our soul that has been. We as performers, not just for the audience, but for our hearts, to be able to get up there and be in a community that is outraged as we are, that is really feeding off the power of our song choices and our performances. And we're feeding off the outrage from the audiences. It's been such a more than a joy. I mean, and I don't want to say lifesaver, but my God, it's been a balm to the soul.
And and the joy of it for me, in addition to being doing the activism and raising the money, has been
Which, by the way, over the years, $13,000, people. $13,000.
which in the scheme of things may not sound like a lot, but when candidates are always talking about donate as little as $10, it adds up. So
Absolutely.
so the joy in it for me, and I can't say it was a surprise, but it has been a revelation, is the passion and dedication of all the people that have been in the show. It's really blown me away. And, and going into this series, what I love about it is it's a combination of people like you who have been in multiple shows, but also a lot of new people who knew about the shows, who basically lobbied me and contacted me about wanting to be in it. And also, my doing some research and finding out where those cabaret performers who were really passionate politically based on what they post on Facebook, etc.
Right.
And so I've kind of scouted out a few people
Mhm.
and asked them to be involved. So this year we're going to have about 45 performers, many of them new,
That's
but
fantastic.
the people that were from the beginning just continue to show up, and they continue to be devoted. And the other amazing thing about this is that, as whenever I start putting these together, I ask the performers, tell me what you want to sing. What song choice do you have? And remember what the theme is. So I maybe I'm off a little bit here, but I think 90% or 95% of the choices from the beginning, all the shows, the song choices have been incredible.
Yeah, truly.
And how many songs there have been that
Yeah.
have been performed. Dozens and dozens of songs that speak to patriotism and love and social issues and the occasional anti-administration
Yeah.
song that
Yes.
people come up with.
Well, yeah,
So,
that's the beauty of some of these choices, that it had nothing to do with politics. Some very overtly political,
right.
but more often than not, not necessarily a song that you would associate with politics, but through the interpretation of the performer, just like ragingly political.
Yeah, I mean, and the arrangements of the songs, the way they're delivered, I mean, they've all been tremendous, and um, it's just blown me away. Every show that I host and I watch these performers up there, you
Hmm.
know, many of whom sometimes are on the verge of tears before or after they do their songs, like you.
Me?
Yeah.
Getting weepy?
Yeah.
Never. Oh,
That's been the joy for me in doing this project.
oh yeah. Well, so I know we've got a shout out for our musical director for the May 7th. It's
Michael.
Michael Roberts, who has done the Great Blue Wave theme song. And I rest assured it will be, will he, who are the musical directors throughout the series? Again, there's
So
four shows,
so
people.
Michael Roberts is going to do May. The Gregory Toroain is the MD for June. Ian Herman for September, and Tracy Stark, who has done the majority of these shows over the years, is going to be in October. Hopefully, she won't get another gig.
Right? Oh
But
my.
one thing about Michael and the Blue Wave theme song, real quick, when I came up with the idea for the series, I really wanted a theme song. Michael is a tremendous musical theater composer and lyricist, and also has a great sense of humor. So I asked him to write a song. He came up with a terrific song that I would do at the beginning of shows. And then when we got to 2022, he did a rewrite of the original. Then he did another rewrite in 2024, and now he's going to do another rewrite for this show. And
Yeah.
Blair Brown, who has done a great job singing them at the beginning of the show, will be doing it again.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's
Because
so great.
she, like everybody else, is a much better singer than I am. So I have to
Now,
pass off that
now.
responsibility.
Well, she's wonderful. And is she going to do it every show?
Yeah, if she's available.
I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
I love it. Because, yeah, we've got to hear that at the start of every show.
Besides, she
And
gives me a fantastic introduction, so I need to hear that like as many times as possible.
well, and for those of you who are listening, I am going to be in the October 20th show.
Which is going to be a great. They're all going to be great. I mean, the
Yeah.
cast are all great, but the October show is really special. Not only because it'll be the last one before the election in November, but the large majority in the cast are the original Blue Waivers.
Aw.
So it's kind of like bringing
It's
the
a
gang back
reunion.
together. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I love it. Well, I'll be in the audience for all of them. And listeners, I invite you to join us for as many as you can to support us. Again, those dates, and it'll be in the show notes. Thursday, May 7th, Saturday, June 13th, Tuesday, September 1st, Tuesday, October 20th. All the shows are at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:15. Come in, get settled, order your beverages,
The
because
cover is
there's
$30. There's a two-drink minimum
minimum.
and cash only.
Oh,
So
right, 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 right.
go to the ATM.
Yeah, go, yes, exactly. ATM, ATM. Have we touched on everything that we want to share?
Well, I mean, I know we're running a little over, but we
It's
didn't
all
touch
good.
on. So I wanted to mention, as I did in the text to you before we did this.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, so before the 2016 election, I wrote a long essay talking about how the danger of the Trump, not the danger of the Trump presidency, because I thought Hillary was going to be president, but I wrote an essay saying that even if Hillary became president, the future danger to the country was this white supremacy movement. And
Mm,
that was 10 years ago.
yeah.
It is, they have doubled down and tripled down on it. And so I have kept having to update that essay. And I recently updated it over this past weekend to include a laundry list of all the things that the Trump administration and the Supreme Court and the right wing are doing to prove that white supremacy is the major agenda. And no sooner did I post that piece than the Supreme Court destroys the
Gutted,
Voting Rights Act
gutted it.
2 days ago. And if people don't understand that what's going on right now is a blatant, shameless attempt to try to keep power both during this year's midterms and in 2028, they're not paying attention.
Yeah. And so come and be a part of our audiences. Come support, contribute to, be inspired by, share your outrage, and be moved to whatever other kind of action you can do in your life to uplift and save democracy. We need a blue tsunami. Everyone needs to do all that they can. It's all hands on deck now.
Absolutely. And people should know that all the proceeds will be going to mainly Democratic Senate candidates because we really need to win the Senate as well as the House.
Yes. Yes, yes. Well, Stephen Hanks, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for this series. Thank you for being the beacon in the cabaret community that you are and the beacon in the political landscape that you are.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. You're the best.
Ah, you. Love you.
Love you too.
Come join us, folks. We'll see you there.
See you on Thursday. Bye.